In the last class, we have discussed some deviations of Mendelism. Now today, I'll make a brief review of what we have discussed and then proceed with the different examples of Mendelian deviation. Now, first of all, Mendel said that a single factor or gene is responsible for one character. And the second thing he had said was that genes occur in pairs, and the two genes of a pair are called alleles. Now, with this background, let us go into the different slides which will give you a clear idea about what it is. Now, we are not going to every organism has two alleles for a character or trait. Now, if the two alleles are same, we call it homozygous, and if they are different, we call it heterozygous. Now, when the condition is heterozygous, that is when there is a dominant and a recessive factor or gene, then the dominant expresses itself. Now, that is called the principle of dominance. So, the genes occur in pairs. Now, of these two pairs, both may be dominant, one recessive, and when there is one dominant and one recessive, then we get the expression of the dominant because the dominant suppresses the effect of the recessive. Now, here you look at this. What is this concept? Now, here this is a chromosome. In this chromosome, this portion has R and this is also R. This is a pair of chromosome. You know that human being has 23 pairs of chromosomes. Similarly, all organisms have two sets of chromosomes, each in pairs, and these positions are called locus or loci in plural. Locus. This is a locus, this is a locus. Now, you may mark here that the two loci are at the same position in all the things that we are observing here. The two loci are of the same position. This is a pair where both the genes are recessive. This is a pair where both the genes are dominant. This is dominant recessive, and this is heterozygous recessive dominant. Now, here this will express itself as per Mendel, whereas here the recessive gene is expressed, here the dominant gene is expressed. Now, coming to with this background, let's now enter into the deviation. Now, Mendel said that when there is dominance, you get 3:1 phenotypic ratio and 1:2:1 genotypic ratio, because let us go back here. This is tall, capital T in pair. Here tall is expressed, and here small t, and this is dwarf is expressed. During gamete formation in the parental generation, capital T comes to one gamete and here small t comes to this gamete. And in the hybrid, that is F1 generation, capital T, small t are together. Here you get two types of gametes, that is capital T, small t, capital T, small t. This is male, female. And when they are together, you get three tall, one dwarf. This is tall because both the dominant genes for tall are present. This is dwarf because both the recessive genes for dwarf are present. Whereas these two are tall not because both the genes are dominant or recessive, but because there is a dominant gene and a recessive gene, and the dominant gene is suppressing the effect of recessive gene, or the dominant gene expressing itself in the presence of the recessive gene. This is the concept of Mendelian cross. Now here 3:1 is the phenotypic ratio. What is phenotypic ratio? Phenotypic ratio is the one which is expressed to the outside. Phenotypic ratio is 3:1, and 3 tall, 1 dwarf. But the genotypic ratio is 1 pure tall, 2 hybrid tall, and 1 dwarf. Capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, and small t, small t. So 1:2:1. That is what is mentioned here. Now, I said that there are two alleles. Now, the allele which is in nature is called wild one. Wild ones are usually dominant, and this during process of evolution, these wild ones get mutated to the recessive ones. Normally we find two alleles, one dominant and one recessive, but sometimes we get more than two alleles, then it is a case of multiple alleles. One more thing that Mendel said was, it is the dominant gene is able to express itself, and the recessive gene remains suppressed, and when it gets homozygous condition in the F2 generation, it expresses itself. Now, coming to incomplete dominance. Just now we have discussed about dominance. Dominance is the recessive gene which is represented by small letter H or small t is suppressed by capital T, that is dominant gene. So, when capital T, small t are there in a gene pair, we get the expression of capital T or the tall. Now, in some cases, the expression of capital T is not able to suppress the expression of small t. That is, the example is not tall and dwarf. Here the example is flower color in Mirabilis jalapa. Now, in Mirabilis jalapa, you have red flowered plants and white flowered plants. But when red flowered plants are crossed with white flowered plants, surprisingly, instead of getting all red or all white, we get all pink. That is, we get a color which is between red and white. Now, how can we express? Now, express it this way after going to the F2 generation. In the F2 generation, when these plants are selfed, we get capital R in small r gamete male and capital R small r gamete female. When they are combined, we get one capital R, one small r, and two capital R small r. This indicates that this is the hybrid condition where pink color is there as it is here, and this is pure red. That means red is dominant over white, should be dominant over white, but as it is expressed here and expressed here, now these two combined give us pink color in the F2 generation. So, the ratio is 1:2:1. The peculiarity here is, in Mendel's cross, the phenotypic ratio was 3:1 in the monohybrid, and the genotypic ratio was 1:2:1. But in this case, the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio are same. The phenotypic ratio is 1 red, 2 pink, 1 white, and the genotypic ratio is capital R 1, capital R small r 2, and small r 1. So this is the case of incomplete dominance. Now, another example of this incomplete dominance is Antirrhinum majus flower color. Now, this is considered a deviation to Mendelism because here the dominance principle is not working completely, that is, it is incomplete dominance. Then come to co-dominance. What do we mean by co? Co means together. Now, co means together, that is, both are together and both express themselves, that is co-dominance. Now, co-dominance is the two genes, usually both dominant, both express themselves. Now, let us try to understand this through an example. Now, here in camellia, there are white flowered plants and red flowered plants. So, when we cross between these two, according to Mendel's principle, either you should get all white or you should get all red, or as per incomplete dominance, we should get an intermediate color, that is pink. But neither we are getting white nor we are getting red, and we are also not getting pink. We are getting patches of red and white. That means red is expressed and white is also expressed here. So this is the case of co-dominance. So no one is able to dominate the other, so both are expressed. This is co-dominance. And here you see the two genes are RW, RW and RW, RW. So when these four are there, all four will give us red and white patches. Now, here you can see clearly, this is red, white, and this is the hybrid. Here, both the characters are expressed. Coming to another example of co-dominance, here in cattle, the skin color is red and white. When they are crossed, according to Mendel's principle, we should get 3 red, 1 white, or 3 white, 1 red. And here again we find that we get a expression called Rowan, where we get both red and white occurring in patches, that is capital R, both are capital R red, capital R white, both are expressing themselves. So this is a case of co-dominance. Now here it is explained, it's a form of inheritance where two alleles of specific trait do not completely express over its allele, resulting in a third phenotype which is a combination of the two. It is not intermediate of the two, but it is a combination of the two. That is, red and white both are seen. Now, we have already explained, it is written here and you can go through it for details. Now, coming to the third case of Mendelian deviation, that is multiple alleles. Now, I have already told you that there are 2 chromosomes, and in the 2 chromosomes there are only, that is a homologous pair, we get 2 genes. Now, let us go back to remind you. Now, here, now these are the 2 genes. one chromosome, another chromosome. This is the homologous pair. Sometimes what happens is the alleles are more than two. Till now we have discussed about a dominant allele and a recessive allele. In some cases there are more than two alleles, and when there are more than two alleles, we call the condition as multiple allele. Now here different alleles are formed from a wild type. I told you already that wild is that one which is in nature. Normally the wild changes into one allele, that is usually the recessive allele, but sometimes by mutation and mutation we get more alleles for a particular gene. But however, you must remember that here the position on the two chromosomes will be occupied only by two alleles, that is one here and one here. Both may be same or different, only two alleles are possible. So if there are more than two alleles, different combinations come in. Let us look into an example. Now the most convenient and easy example is ABO blood group in humans. You know very well that ABO blood group is, we have four blood groups in human beings. Leave aside Rh factor. Group A, blood group A, blood group B, blood group O, and AB. A, B, AB and O. Now let's try to explain this situation. Now the blood group A is because of a dominant gene, that is A, IA, immunoglobulin A, and blood group B is because of the gene B, which is IB. When a genotype has IA capital, then we have blood group A, and if we have the genotype IA, IB, then the expression is that it is AB blood group. Now when we have capital IA or capital IA small I and capital IB small I, we again get capital IA small I and capital IB small I here and here. We get in this case A blood group and in this case B blood group. Now this is because IA is dominant on small I and IB is also dominant on small I. Now coming to third combination. Now, so how many alleles are here? There are three alleles. The three alleles are capital I A, capital I B and small I. These three alleles. So because the alleles are more than two, this is called a multiple allele example. Now let us look into the diagram. Now this is the genotype. I told you there are two that is possible. Capital IA, A blood group, capital IA small I, A blood group, capital IB, B blood group, capital IB small I, B blood group, capital IA, capital IB is AB blood group, and small I where neither capital IA is present nor capital IB is present, this is O blood group. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 4 are present. Now in this case, this is the blood cell RBC. Now the RBC has here nothing attached to the surface, but if you look at these 3, here triangular thing is attached and here circular things are attached. It is only representative, and here triangular and circular things are attached. Now these triangular and circular things are galactosamine and galactose, that is antigen A and antigen B. So antigen A is galactosamine and antigen B is galactose. Let us go back again. Now here this is antigen A, galactosamine, and this is antigen B, galactose. Now here this is galactosamine and this is galactose. Now these 3 cases, because of the presence of either capital A or capital B or both, you get these attachments. In small I, you don't get any attachment. This is clear. Now if you transfuse a blood from this to this or this to this, then there will be a problem, because the antibody which is developed will not fit into all conditions. Either you must get this or both or this. So this is the blood group. Here the same thing is expressed. Now here we are getting an example of father and mother, ABO, ABO. If mother is A, father is A, this is capital A, capital A. Mother is B, father is B, giving this is capital A, capital B. And here you can look at the diagram and understand, but I want to give you my own example in this particular case, and that is, in my family, my blood group is AB. That means I have antigen A and antigen B on my blood cells. My blood group is AB. When I produce gametes, I get capital A into one gamete and capital B into other gamete. So they are 2 gametes, one containing capital A and the other containing capital B. Now coming to my wife blood group is O. So she will have this one, small I, small I. Small I, small I means she is having both recessive things. So all her gametes will get small I. Now what is the possibility? If my gametes are 2, one containing capital A and the other containing capital B, and my wife's gametes are only containing small I, then the possibility is that either my children will get capital A, capital IA, small I, or capital IB, small I. Now in fact I have AB, my wife is O, my elder son is B, and my younger son is A. Now in our family there is no possibility of O blood group, because I don't have I, small I, and there is no possibility of AB blood group, because I have A and B, but my wife doesn't have A or B, she only having small I. Now another example of multiple allele is here in blood group. How many alleles are there? there are three: capital IA, capital IB, and small I. But a similar condition is seen in fur color in rabbit, where there are 4 alleles. In blood group there are 3 alleles. Here there are 4 alleles. The 4 alleles are the wild type. I told you the wild type is usually dominant. Now the wild type is for brown, and its recessive is for white, albino. Recessive fur means the hairs. Now recessive is for white. So either it should be brown or white, but due to mutations, 2 more things have developed, that is chinchilla and Himalayan. Small c, CH, that is CH stands for chinchilla and small h stands for Himalayan. Now, if these 2 are mutations of the recessive gene, not the dominant gene. Now, here in chinchilla, you get black tipped fur. The tips of the fur are black, whereas the main fur is white, tips of the fur. In Himalayan, the furs are white. What we get? Black ears, black nose, black paws, and black tail. And these 2 are mutant conditions. And here we get brown because this is dominant. Here we get white because it is recessive. So what are the 2 examples of multiple alleles? The 2 examples are brown, which is wild and dominant; albino or white, which is recessive. Chinchilla and Himalayan are conditions where there are mutations. Chinchilla is small c, ch, small c, ch, and Himalayan is small c, h. And these 2 have either the tips black or different portions have black color. Now, this is an example of multiple alleles. So, we have discussed 2 examples of multiple alleles. One is the blood group in humans, and the other is the fur color in rabbit. Now coming to pleiotropy. Pleiotropy is a different condition compared to others. Let me look at it. Now we have discussed about incomplete dominance, where one is not able to dominate over the other. We have discussed about codominance, where both are expressing themselves. We have discussed about multiple alleles, where there are more than 2 alleles and they express themselves. All the 3 are deviations from Mendelian ratios. Now here in pleiotropy, we get a different condition, and that is pleiotropy is one where we get one gene responsible for many characters, not like 2 genes or 3 alleles or different things. Here we get one gene which is responsible for many characters. Now here one of the chromosome is seen. This is a single gene. If homologous chromosome, another gene will be there, but the same gene determines 3 characters. When one gene determines many characters, the condition is called pleiotropy. Now the most common example of pleiotropy is a human disease called phenylketonuria. Urea means urine. Now, phenylketonuria is accumulation of phenylketones in the urine. This is because of a mutation in a single gene. Now, this gene is responsible for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. Now, what is this enzyme? Now, this enzyme, you know, enzymes are the units which act on a substrate and convert it to another thing, help in converting it to another thing. A substrate which is converted to another thing in the presence of the enzyme. Here, the gene phenyl responsible for phenylalanine hydroxylase acts on phenylalanine, the amino acid, this is an amino acid, hydroxylates it. That is why it is called phenylalanine hydroxylase to form tyrosine. Now, when this particular gene is mutated, now this mutated form is not able to form tyrosine from phenylalanine, or even if it is formed, the quantity is very less. Now, reduced tyrosine causes mental retardation, reduced hair and skin pigmentation, and thus it is a pleiotropic gene. What is the pleiotropic gene here? The gene responsible for phenylalanine hydroxylase. What is phenylalanine hydroxylase? It is an enzyme which is responsible for the conversion of phenylalanine to tyrosine. Now, normally tyrosine is needed for the body. Now, in case of a mutation in the gene for phenylalanine hydroxylase, we do not get sufficient thyroxine or no thyroxine is formed. When there is less thyroxine, we get the disease phenylketonuria, and the phenylketonuria results in mental retardation, reduced hair and skin pigmentation. So, one gene is controlling 3 characters here. Another convenient example for you is of pleiotropy is the sickle cell anemia. Sickle means da. In Oriya we call it da. Now, sickle, the hemoglobin, as I have shown in the previous slides, this is the hemoglobin. Now, here what happens is the hemoglobin becomes sickle shaped. Now, if there is sickle cell, now they do not give normal character. What happens is, this is also due to a mutation. Now, here the presence of sickle cells give rise to breakdown of red blood cells. Red blood cells break down or they clog together and block the small vessels, and or the sickle cells accumulate in spleen. Spleen is a body organ, you know it. Now, either they break down or they clog the blood vessels or they accumulate in the spleen. If there is breakdown, you get anemia, heart failure, physical weakness. Anemia leads to mental function, impaired mental function. Now, the clumping of arteries also gives rise to heart failure or heart attack, pain and fever, brain damage. And brain damage will lead to paralysis, and damage to other organs gives rise to pneumonia and other infections. Now, it may lead to rheumatism and kidney failure. So, one particular character, one particular gene, that is the gene responsible for sickle cells, is able to create so many disorders. So, it is also a pleiotropic effect of gene. Now, the sickle cell anemia is because of a mutation in the gene HBB. HB stands for hemoglobin, and because of the mutation, the hemoglobin is changing to hemoglobin S. Hemoglobin S, and what it does? Beta hemoglobin unit is affected. That's why it becomes now 1 unit of hemoglobin, that is beta hemoglobin, that is affected, and that is because of which we get so many characters. Now, coming to the last type of Mendelian deviation, that is multiple genes or polygenic inheritance. Now, we have discussed about multiple alleles. Now, we will discuss about multiple genes. What did Mendel say? One gene determines one character. And what does pleiotropy indicate us? One gene may determine many characters. And there is another condition which is responsible for pleiotropy. Polygenes, many genes. Now, come back to this condition. Here, this is the locus where the gene occurs. If for a particular character, either the gene present here or both will determine. But multi-gene condition or polygenes is expressed by number of genes. That means genes present on the chromosome, not on one but different chromosomes on the maybe one chromosome or many chromosomes. The genes are distributed. Now, coming back to that, now in polygenic inheritance there is a peculiar thing, and that is in Mendel's monohybrid cross, we take the example of tall and dwarf, tall or dwarf, so many tall, so many dwarf. In Mendel's dihybrid cross, we count round yellow, wrinkled green, so many round yellow, so many wrinkled green, so many round green, so many wrinkled yellow. But in incomplete dominance, one red, two pink, one white. In codominance, hybrid, two, that means patches two, one red, one white. And in all these conditions, even if it is pleiotropic, we can excluding pleiotropy, we can count the number, and in pleiotropy as well we can count how many different characters it is influencing. But in case of multiple genes, we find that the effect is not qualitative, but it is quantitative. That means it is continuous. It is continuous. We cannot say this is the demarcation. There are multiple variations. Now, the best example of polygenic inheritance or multiple gene inheritance is human skin color. In humans, skin color, that there are very fair people and there are very dark people like Negroes. This skin color in man is a character which is expressed by multiple genes, that is polygenic condition. Now, you can look here. How many genes are responsible? More than 2. It may be many, but here we are taking the example of small a and capital A. That is small a, small b, small c, capital A, capital B, small c, capital C. This is very light, this is very dark. But 3 is not the real condition, it may be many. We are taking 3 for convenience. Now, in the F1 hybrid, we get this capital A, capital B, capital C, small c. So, this is the hybrid condition of F1 generation. And in sperms and eggs, we get this is the condition. We get 6 types of phenotypes. 7, 0 to 6, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shades will come. Now, 0 is completely white, 6 is completely black, 5 is less than this because 2 dominant genes are there. Here also 2 dominant genes. Here also 2 dominant genes. Now, after 5 you get 4 where there is 1 dominant gene, B here, then B here, B here. Now, there is also only 1 dominant gene which is light. There is some error in this diagram. So, whatever it is, you get capital A, you get total dark, capital B, you get total dark, capital A, capital B, capital C, you get total dark. Like this, different combinations are there. Actually, capital A and capital B are not applicable here because there are many genes. A, B and C, all the 3 must be present. These 3 genes determines this character. Now, capital A, capital B, capital C give rise to dark color, small a, small b, small c give rise to white color, and depending on how many are the dominant genes and how many are recessive genes, we get many shades. This is dark and this is white, and all are intermediate. Now, this is the same condition. You will find that this is dark, this is white, and you get a range from here to this position. Now, which is the minimum number? Total white, total dark. Gradually, you get a bell-shaped curve, bell-shaped, and the bell-shaped curve, the central is medium colors are the maximum. The medium colors are the maximum, and this was described by Davenport in 1910, and the medium colors are called mulattoes, intermediate shades. Now, this is cumulative effect or combined effect of different genes, and it is additive effect. Now, here you see this is darkest, this is white, and these are all mulattoes, which are the intermediate. Before closing, I want to again give you an idea about polygenic inheritance. Polygenic inheritance is one in which many genes are responsible for one character, and they are located on different position in the chromosomes, and these genes have a cumulative and quantitative effect. Now, the best example of polygenic inheritance or multiple gene inheritance is the skin color in man. If all dominant genes are present, it is one color, all recessive the other extreme color, and intermediate are the medium colors. The one extreme dominant one is darkest. When if we take 3 genes as examples, we get minimum number of total dark, minimum number of total white, and all the others are medium, and we are getting a bell-shaped curve here. This bell-shaped curve is because the intermediate shades, which are called mulattoes, are the maximum, and this condition was described by Davenport in 1913. Thank you very much. So today we have completed the deviations of Mendelism. Now I am summing up here what are the deviations of Mendelism. The deviations of Mendelism are based on the basic assumptions of Mendel. Mendel said one gene, one character, and genes occur in pairs. We have the idea that genes occur in pairs, and there are chromosomes which are in pairs. In our body, we have 23 pairs of chromosome, and these chromosomes have 2 gene sets. Normally, each gene has 1 allele, so they occur in pair, the dominant gene and the recessive gene. Now, but sometimes there are more than 2 alleles, and the gene which is dominant is usually the wild type. Now, first deviation is incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance is the condition where instead of getting 3:1 ratio as it is expressed in Mendelian monohybrid cross, we are getting 1:2:1 ratio. This is the genotypic ratio. The phenotypic ratio according to Mendel is 3:1. The genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Here we are getting in incomplete dominance 1:2:1. The phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio are same. This is because in incomplete dominance, 1 pure, 2 hybrid, and 1 pure, that is red pure, white pure, but pink is impure in the hybrid. But in Mendel's cross, we would have expressed, we would have wanted that it should be here red, white, we get pink, and this pink self we get 1:2:1. The phenotypic and genotypic ratios are same. Now, in codominance, we get the example of camellia, where instead of an intermediate color, we get patches of red and white here, and this is the condition in camellia. Here in cattle, we get codominance, red and white, we should get 3 red, 1 white, or 3 white, 1 red, but here we are getting row 1, which is red and white combined. Coming to, this is codominance, multiple alleles. multiple alleles, as I told you, that these are conditions where the alleles are more, and the best example is ABO blood group. Now ABO blood group, now this is the RBC where there are no appendages. Here there is A appended, that is galactosamine, and here B appended, which is galactose, and here in case of A and B both are added. So multiple alleles give rise to multiple conditions. If both are present, we get AB blood group. If one is present, we get A or B, and if no one is present, we get simple blood cells. Now coming to the other example, fur color in rabbit, we get brown if it is pure, we get white fur if it is pure. This is pure dominant, pure recessive, and two more alleles, that is multiple allele, chinchilla and Himalayan. Chinchilla we get tips black, and Himalayan ears, nose, paws and tail are black. Now pleiotropy is one gene affecting many characters. The best example is phenylketonuria, where we get one character is in one trait or one gene is affecting many characters. If this gene is mutated, we don't get tyrosine from phenylalanine. We don't get tyrosine from phenylalanine. So tyrosine, lack of tyrosine will give rise to mental retardation, reduced hair and skin pigmentation. Just before that, we have also discussed about the polygenic inheritance, and with this we finish the Mendelian deviation. Thank you.